There is a version of you that never sleeps, never forgets, and knows things about you that even your closest friends don't. It was built quietly, piece by piece, every time you opened an app, searched a thought, or paused on a photo at 2 a.m. And the most terrifying part? You handed over every single piece voluntarily. You just didn't know what you were giving away. Today we're going inside the machine. The real one. The one that knows your fears, your routines, your secrets, and your future. Let's start with something simple. When did you last Google something embarrassing? Something you'd never say out loud. You probably forgot about it within hours. But Google didn't. It stored that query, time-stamped, geolocated, linked to your profile, permanently. This is the foundation of what surveillance capitalism actually is. Not a theory. Not a conspiracy. A documented, trillion-dollar business model. Shoshana Zuboff, Harvard professor, spent years documenting it. Her conclusion: your experience is not the product. Your future behavior is. They're not just watching what you do. They're predicting what you'll do next. And then selling that prediction to the highest bidder. Think about the last time you talked about something near your phone and then saw an ad for it. You weren't imagining it. Researchers at Northeastern University and Imperial College London ran the experiment. The results were more complex than a simple microphone tap. The reality is actually more invasive. They don't need to hear you speak when they already know exactly what you're about to think. Here's what's actually happening. Every platform you use maintains what's called a behavioral graph. It's not a file. It's a living model of you. It maps your relationships, your emotional triggers, your insecurities, your ambitions, and the exact moments your willpower weakens. Meta's internal researchers admitted in leaked documents that they could detect when teenagers felt insecure, and then serve ads in that exact window. This wasn't an accident. This was engineering. Precision targeting of human vulnerability at the most profitable moment. But to understand how deep this goes, we need to go back to where it all started. 2007, the year the smartphone was born. Before the smartphone, you left home without a tracking device. After it, you never left home without one again. Your phone knows where you sleep, where you work, where you pray, where you go when you're anxious, and where you go when you celebrate. Location data brokers like SafeGraph and Veriset sell this information. Your precise movements, sold in bulk, without your name, but it doesn't matter. A 2018 MIT study proved that just 4 location points are enough to uniquely identify 95% of individuals in a dataset. 4 points. So when someone tells you your data is anonymized, understand that anonymization is largely a legal fiction designed to make you feel safe. Now let's talk about something you interact with every single day but almost never think about. The algorithm. The algorithm is not designed to show you what's true. It's designed to show you what keeps you engaged. Those are dangerously different things. Facebook's own internal research, shown to the Wall Street Journal in 2021, confirmed they knew their algorithm was amplifying anger and division, and chose profit over change. Why? Because outrage keeps you scrolling. And scrolling keeps the ad revenue flowing. Your anger is literally a commodity. But here's where it gets personal. The algorithm doesn't just know what makes you angry. It knows what makes you specifically angry. Every pause, every hesitation, every double tap, every time you hovered over a post without liking it, all of it is data being fed into your profile. TikTok's algorithm reportedly builds an accurate emotional profile within 35 minutes of first use. 35 minutes to know you better than most people do. And they share that profile. Not always directly, but through what's called the data broker ecosystem, an invisible industry worth over $200 billion. There are over 4,000 data broker companies operating in the United States right now. Most Americans have never heard of a single one. These companies know your full name, address, income range, health conditions, political leanings, sexual orientation, relationship status, and purchase history. You never gave them permission. But the apps you use did. Every single time you clicked, agree, on a terms of service you never read. The average terms of service agreement would take 76 workdays per year to read in full. They were designed to be ignored. Now let's talk about your health. Because this is where the data collection stops being annoying and starts being genuinely dangerous. Your period tracker app sells your cycle data. Your fitness app sells your heart rate variability. Your meditation app sells your stress patterns. After Roe v. Wade was overturned, legal experts and journalists warned that period tracking data could be subpoenaed in criminal cases. This is not hypothetical. The data you shared to count calories or track your mood can become evidence. Because data, once created, is nearly impossible to destroy. Now let's go even deeper. Because beyond what you do and where you go, Big Tech is increasingly interested in who you are at the neurological level. Emotion recognition AI can analyze micro-expressions in your face through your front camera in real time. You smile differently when you're genuinely happy versus when you're performing happiness. The AI can tell the difference. And companies like Effectiva, Realize, and Amazon have built entire businesses around selling this technology. Your voice tells a story too. Prosody analysis, the study of tone, pace, pitch, can detect depression, anxiety, even early Alzheimer's with remarkable accuracy. Your smart speaker is listening. Not always recording, they say. But the activation window is wider than you've been told, and the false activation rate is significant. Amazon employees have listened to Alexa recordings. Apple contractors reviewed Siri clips. Google contractors transcribed assistant audio. This was confirmed. Officially. But beyond surveillance, the deeper game is prediction. And prediction has now entered the most private arena imaginable, your romantic and sexual behavior. Dating apps know who you swipe on, how long you look at each profile, what physical features make you hesitate versus commit, and when you're most emotionally desperate. Grindr was fined $7 million for selling users' HIV status data to advertisers. Your most private medical information, sold. This is the system operating as designed. Not broken. Designed. The exploitation is the feature, not the bug. Now let's talk about children. Because the data collection on minors is a separate level of darkness entirely. COPPA, the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, was designed to protect kids under 13. But platforms let children lie about their age and collect their data anyway. TikTok was fined $5.7 million by the FTC in 2019 for collecting data on children. They paid it like a parking ticket and kept going. Meta's own research showed Instagram made body image issues worse for teenage girls. They knew. They published internal slides about it. And they launched Instagram for Kids. We need to talk about what this data is actually being used for beyond ads. Because the frontier has moved. AI has changed everything. Large language models are trained on human data. Your text messages, your emails, your posts, they fed the AI that's now talking back to you. OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Meta AI, all trained on vast scrapes of the public internet. Content you created, conversations you had, ideas you shared. You contributed to building the most powerful technology in human history. You just weren't compensated, consulted, or consented. And now that AI is being deployed back at you. Hyper-personalized persuasion at a scale no human propagandist could ever achieve. Cambridge Analytica was the warning shot. Psychographic profiling of 87 million Facebook users to micro-target political ads based on personality vulnerabilities. They used the Big Five personality model: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, neuroticism, to find who was persuadable and exactly how to push them. Cambridge Analytica is gone. The technology isn't. It's more sophisticated now, powered by AI, operating at global scale, with fewer regulations. So let's ask the question you've been sitting with this whole time. Can you actually do anything about this? The honest answer is, yes and no. Individual privacy tools, VPNs, Signal, DuckDuckGo, turning off ad tracking, help at the margins. They reduce exposure but don't eliminate it. Because the system is structural. You cannot opt out of a society built on data extraction the way you can unsubscribe from a newsletter. The EU's GDPR was the most serious attempt at regulation the world has seen. And even that has been circumvented, fined around, and lobbied against relentlessly. The United States has no comprehensive federal privacy law. None. The most data-intensive tech ecosystem on the planet operates without a unified privacy foundation. But here is where the real power lies. Awareness. Not as comfort, but as resistance. Understanding a system is the first step to not being controlled by it. When you know TikTok builds your emotional profile in 35 minutes, you scroll differently. When you know outrage is monetized, you feel it differently. When you understand that your attention is the most valuable resource in the modern economy, you start guarding it like the asset it truly is. The version of you that big tech built is profitable. But the version of you that understands what they built is dangerous to them. Because an informed user doesn't click on rage bait. Doesn't impulse buy at 11 p.m. from a targeted ad. Doesn't get radically manipulated by an algorithm they can see. The question isn't whether they're watching. They are. The question is, who's watching back? You've forgotten more about yourself than any algorithm ever could. The goal isn't to delete your digital life. It's to live it consciously. They built a model of you. But you are not the model. And remembering that distinction might be the most important thing you do today.